Hey, how we doing, everyone? Hope everyone is fine. Let me just kind of make sure everything's going good. Who's in the house there? Come and say hello in the house. Thank you so much again for joining us on this Monday gardening show extravaganza. Let's just see. Rachel Morati, how you doing? Ballison Allotment Man, John Thompson, Stan's in there. Marvellous. Ed Stewart, one big eye, big and one. The usual crowd, Graham Smith. Hello, everyone. Just getting warmed up there. Got a great show and hopefully a new guest as well. So I will just show you my setup for the time being, just to show you how I've got this. Look at this now. I've got yous all on another fancy screen so I can actually see what yous are doing. So hopefully that's good. So let's bring our guests in there. Let's just get Stephen. Stephen, sir, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Yes, we've decided to go in the blue room today.
Yeah, a bit cooler.
Yes. Are you good? Are you being busy gardening?
Yes, always busy gardening. I've been planting seeds again today.
Have you filled them beds?
Kinda. I've done a little bit on it. A bit of inventive digging.
I think they might just be forgetting until October, to be honest.
No.
Right, let's bring
a video coming out about it.
What was that?
There'll be a video coming up about it.
Right, and we've got Audrey. Audrey, are you there, lass? Can let me bring you in? Just unmute you.
Buddy.
How are you doing? Are you good?
I'm doing great.
Lovely. How is that channel? Are we getting some subscribers on there, first of all?
Yes. Crazy. Like over 400 at this point.
Excellent, man.
Yes.
Wow. Hey, honestly,
just
keep going, and hopefully, you know what I mean. We'll get you up to 1,000 as quick as.
Okay, that's what I'm doing.
Right. Let's see if we can bring JB in there now. Let's 1 second. I'll just see if I can get JB. There he is, lad. Are we good, JB? Can we hear you first of all?
We've had some technical difficulties.
Yes. So, well, listen, it's lovely to have you on. God, hey, have you on there. It's from
Who is this handsome chap?
Naturally JB. Is that right? Is that what we're saying? That's how it's pronounced? And there's all sorts of names. JJ goes by, or JB goes by Jamie, John O, or JB. So I don't know if there's some kind of dodgy kind of crime syndicate looking after him, but you know what I mean? We're just kind of... So we're all here in the house. Big thank you. If you just want to ask some questions, stick them in the chat and make them capitals. That's the best way I can kind of just do it at the moment. Just kind of capitals will be fantastic. Oh, we've got Liz in. Royalty's in there. Liz Orab's in. Hello, Liz. Nice to have you in there. Denise in the garden. Kevin Hackett. Graham Smith. Brian Poole. John Goldthorpe. Damn Rabbit is in back in. David Bruff. Who else? Carol Perry. The allotment newbie. You're not the allotment newbie no more. Right. So first off, what I want to do is just if I can remember how to do this, is just show you our guests' YouTube channels. Now let me see you. Hopefully you can see Audrey's channel there. Now this is a great little Audrey. That's your. I'm guessing because you even did a little short. You're getting very.
I know. I'm trying everything.
Very prolific there. So. Yeah. Real Food Comes Dirty, Audrey's tour of a garden, and Audrey, that garden is massive. I'm not joking. That's like football fields. That's bigger than Steve's allotment.
No, it's not even close. Not even close.
And yes, I tell you what. Look at we'll go just jump to Steve's. Look at this. How cool is that? He's got so much going on there. He's like there's so many shows and everything like that. It's perfect. Now we'll just jump to Jamie's for a second.
Oh,
look at that. A Waitrose carrier bag. What? Oh, what kind of garden? What kind of garden? Waitrose? Are you kidding? Where's your Aldi? Where's your working class carrier bag, man?
We don't even shop at Waitrose. That's the thing. I don't know where that's from.
Now, I've just lost Steve there for a second. I've got him in the guest room. Let's see if I can bring him back in. Look there. Back there. So, questions. Let's see if we've got any questions first of all. Steve, you're in the guest room still. There we go.
Hey.
There we go. Let's get all that we're on.
Petrified then.
And I'll see what has anybody been, what we've been sowing. Steve, what have you been, you said you were sowing before, what you've been sowing this week so we can take notes and write them down.
I'm not telling you anything then.
Not without a lawyer.
Carrots today, carrots and parsnips, beetroots, radishes. You wouldn't know anything about them, would you?
No,
turnips.
No. They're an elusive one now. So when you're on about carrots though, because last week I'm sure you were saying you were just waiting for the soil to warm up a little bit. Is that?
That's right.
Is that it? Are you happy now with the soil warming up?
I am indeed, because yesterday morning we had our last frost. I could have gone yesterday, really, but I thought, we'll give it a day. And now for the next 3 weeks, the lowest temperatures overnight are sort of 6 or 7 degrees. And in the daytime, they're much warmer. So when the soil warms up through the day, they'll stay warmer through the night. Brilliant time to get sowing outside now. And that's what I've been waiting for.
I'll have to do me. I've seen this, and I haven't got it linked up there, but I've seen this lady who, on YouTube, I was mentioning it, who uses some sort, it's like cornstarch. So she mixes up this cornstarch, water and cornstarch, boils it up, becomes like this glutinous jelly, puts a carrot seeds in, which she's had soaked in water overnight, and then puts them in this big plastic bag, cuts the end, and just squirts them in with trot like a little furrow. And honestly, every, like, say, what you'd want, every 3 inches there was a seed come out. Do you know what I mean? And one of the biggest downfalls is me is like I can't thin them out so well. So I'm going to try that.
Now, do you guys have pelleted seeds? Pelleted carrot seeds?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, because I find those really easy to
very good.
sow evenly. Yeah.
Is that more of an American thing? These kind of pelleted seeds, is it?
No. Plenty of them here.
Right. I've never noticed, to be honest. Can you? I guess you can get them at Seeds Direct, then, can you, Steve? Or
yeah, you can. Some of the ones I've sown today were pelleted. The Autumn King, the carrots, the ones that grow sort of great big things like this, they were pelleted. So there was 500 in a packet, I think, still for £1.
Wow.
Stupid prices.
That's crazy.
Jimmy, what are you sowing anything this week, or are you just living in hotel rooms?
Yeah, I've not done any gardening today because I'm on the move. But the list that Steve just read out of all the stuff that he was saying is pretty much a big list of things that I've given up on this year. Things that either I don't enjoy, like loads of stuff I tried last year and just didn't really get around to eating, like radishes. Not my favourite, turns out. And carrots as well were a total bust for me. So I completely gave up on carrots. I could not get them germinated last year. My first year, they were right, but last year...
Funny enough, I struggled last year, and I think it was down to like too dry a soil, and I wasn't on top of the game watering it. So I'm going to give the bed that they go in a bloody good water anyways, but I'm also going to do that gloopy stuff, and that gives like a kind of a little barrier of like food, water for them, so fingers crossed I'll have a fantastic carrot. Well, obviously, it goes without saying that I can grow amazing carrots. At least 1.5 inches long, you know what I mean? So Audrey, what you been sowing last? Audrey, what you been sowing?
Well, actually, tomorrow's going to be a good day. We're getting a lot of rain today. Tomorrow's supposed to be absolutely beautiful, and then there's rain the next day. So I'm going to be planting out all of our onions. So tomorrow is more of a plant outside day than sow inside.
Right. Well, that's funny
But
enough.
if you
I've just
check-
done a video there for onions and a little kind of sneaky little thing as well, just to add in something, just to make the video a little bit more interesting.
Sure. But if you check my website, you will know what I'm sowing this week.
Was that it? Oh, I'm sure that was a dig, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Just slide that in right under the radar there. Yep.
Audrey, do you link it from your site? Do you? Let's just I know you're looking at a blue
Oh yeah,
screen.
I link it from my site. Yeah.
1 second, then let's just see if we can.
Waitrose bag. Ooh.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's so where would I find it from? Your YouTube channel, Audrey?
It should be down in my about. Like keep going down. Just keep going down.
Links, read, come food.
Yeah, real food comes dirty.
There we go. Look at that.
This is incredible.
I know,
It's still
Audrey. To
loading.
be
There we
honest,
go.
that's. Did
That's
someone help
the
you with
same
it?
program that Steve Seaside
No,
Allotment
that's fine.
uses.
All
Yeah,
right. Is it
that's
like a bit of
It's
software?
a
Is it?
database. It's a
It's
database
right.
that all the photos are in.
So you've got
It's Airtable.
So all that's we at the moment.
Yes, my house. You know, I did that tour about all the plants everywhere. I have at least twice as many at this point.
Have you noticed this? Have you noticed as well? The little marker over here on the right hand side. It's still at the top.
Yeah, no, there's a lot.
God, Audrey, man, red candy apples. We haven't ever eaten.
Oh, yeah.
There you
It's
go.
still good. Are you sure you're not a wholesaler?
I'm- Ah, I just like a lot of varieties.
Nothing
I
wrong with
don't
that
sow
at
a
all.
lot of each kind, but I sow a lot of varieties.
Well,
that
go on then,
fun?
Audrey. What would your top 5? Say vegetables sown. What's your preferred? Because there's a hell of a lot there on that website. What is your top 5 veg?
Purple. No, it's Pusa aceta carrot. Really dark purple carrot. It's fabulous. So JB, I would not give up on carrots. Like keep trying. Just keep
Yeah.
doing it, and at one point you're going to get that right because they are so good when you pull them right out of the ground. I like the Greyhound cabbage. That's probably a favorite. I like purple Viking potatoes.
Never tried them.
Oh, they're so good. Little waxier maybe than Kennebecs. They're just lovely. 2 more. I like a good old French breakfast radish, which doesn't sound very exotic, but they're just really
No,
good.
they're nice.
And I love Kalima green beans. Those are my favorite green beans. So
Actually,
those are 5 off the top of my head.
that green beans I get so excited for them, but honestly, like the glut you get if you just plant them and let you know what I mean. That by the time I'm finished, it's just like I can't face another bean for the year. But I love them. Do you know what I mean? I absolutely love them. And now like I think about them and like, oh, just put out loads of butter and it'd be gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. But by the time the season's finished, I could physically throw up the amount of like, oh, you know what I mean? Just gag on green beans.
Do you not freeze some?
Why not likely? Because it's all that hassle of blanching and everything like that.
Oh,
To be
you
honest,
don't have to do that.
we eat that much, or you couldn't even in say December, it would still be retching.
Have you ever pickled them? You
No,
try pickling them.
oh no,
Pickle them. Put them in a dill pickle brine. They're lovely.
no.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to ask. Funny enough, I was going to ask Steve there, like a recipe. You know what he's sowing like this week. Say carrots. Give her like a nice little recipe off the top of your head, Stephen. What I know you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago with carrots, so that's cheating. The way you told me, I think, where you boil them down with butter, which actually sounded gorgeous, to be honest. But is there something else you've been wanting to sow, or you're going to sow, that you're going to cook?
Well, I'm going to cook everything except lettuce.
I'm I'm here all week. Thank you very much. Goodbye. I want you, the chef's skill to come out though. What do you think you'll be?
Well, have you got a juice? Have you got a juicer?
Yes, actually.
Juice some carrots,
right,
and cook your carrots in that, and tell me what you think.
Oh man, see, Jamie, you can't get this anywhere else, man. This is gold dust, man.
Just try it.
I'm not convinced.
Right. So you actually use the juice liquid of a carrot to boil your carrots.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I bet that's incredible.
Oh,
yeah.
I would never have thought of that. Do you know what I mean? Never in a month of Sundays. Got a question. I don't know who wants to answer it. Audrey, let's see you. Graham's asking when to sow tomatoes. Audrey, when's the best time to sow tomatoes? Because is it too late?
Again, it depends on your climate. I don't think it's too late. Because once tomatoes take off, they really take off. So I imagine, and again, I don't know where Graham lives, but I would sure start sowing them now. Indoors, if you're indoors.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But if you have to wait to outdoors, I would wait till the ground is at least 50 degrees, which in your world is...
We should have this chart at hand.
No, I think it's 10 degrees Celsius. Yes, it is 10 degrees Celsius.
Well, I was saying last week, I'm sure I sowed some on the 18th of April, and I got tomatoes there. So, you know what I mean, kind of.
Yeah, I think it's not too late.
Jim's asking, Stephen, I'll pop this one for you there, sir. When can I plant cucumbers and courgettes yet? Now, you're getting close, I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, planting and sowing are two different things to me. I mean, I'll be sowing my courgettes and cucumbers probably in a couple of weeks' time, certainly before the end of the month, and I'll be looking to plant them out sort of the end of May, really. There's no point putting them out when they're too cold. They're a warm weather plant and they'll just sulk. And you want to put them in the ground when they've got that vigor, that zest that you've given them from starting from seed.
Right, well, I'll put this question to all with JB as well. By all means, answer this because I've never heard. Best way to deal with flea beetles. Or that's going right over your. Oh, do you know this one, JB? Then, do you?
Yeah, this is a good one for me. They are little sods, and I've got I get them on my brassicas quite a lot. They're absolutely minuscule beetle, tiny black thing, and if you get close to them, they jump. They absolutely fling off for miles. And you'll get these tiny little holes in your brassicas and in a few other crops as well. Spinach, I think they like. And I've always struggled to get rid of them. I think what you really need is like an enviromesh, so like a really fine, the same kind of thing that you use for carrot fly. And as well, I've had like mixed success with neem oil, which is one of the only kind of pesticides that I'm borderline comfortable using in the garden.
Very close. It's funny, Jimmy, I think I did a video on it as well using neem oil, and you do get quite a few folks like, no, you know what I mean? And you kind of, my God,
wow,
you either lose all your veg or, you know what I mean? You've got to do something sometimes, you know what I mean? And it's just, how would you say?
I heard that mint, if you plant mint near the target plants, then that apparently stops them. But I've only had flea beetle once, and it was too late then to plant any mint once I found them, and they haven't been back since.
What did you say? They plant mint near it?
Mint, yeah, apparently.
Right.
That's what I read up when I had the problem, but I didn't have any mint plants to hand, I checked the cupboard and everything. There was none in there.
It was just, for me, though, I'd have to plant mint in like a tub. Do you know what I mean? Because it would just go kind of crazy on us, you know what I mean? Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing for flea beetles, and this is a general practice thing, is planting out transplants when they're fairly well established. So you'll see on my channel, I always do this with my brassicas. I let them get quite big in the pots before planting them out. I put them in sort of 7 centimeter pots, and I wait until they're really done in there, and then they kind of go out in the middle of May. And you might get a bit of a flea beetle attack, but the plant should be able to survive, essentially.
Right.
I haven't. I know when we take the dogs for a walk, would they flea beetles go on like rapeseed? Would they attack rapeseed as well? Would they just when I go on a walk with a dog, there's a certain patch where this farm has rapeseed. You're covered in these tiny little black beetles. Do you know what I mean? Like in your face and everything. And I don't know if that's when you say minuscule, or are we talking like say 2 or 3 millimeters?
Yeah, they're pretty small.
Right. These might not be, to be honest. They might not be. Carol Perry's asking, I'm planting asparagus crowns tomorrow. Any tips, please? Anyone?
Oh. Well, the advice I was given years and years ago is that your soil has got to be so loose that you can put a garden fork in it, just lightly put it in it, and be able to push it all the way in with your finger. It's got to be that loose, your soil, and obviously weed-free.
Yeah, weed-free. I have heard that as well. Audrey?
Well, I dug trenches and laid the roots out over the V of the trench, so the crown was up, but the roots were down, and I put mine into just really well rotted compost. And this is the first year. This was like 3 years ago I did that. This is the first year we can harvest the whole season.
Wow.
So I'm very excited to get the actual asparagus this year.
That's a long wait and a commitment as well, isn't it?
I know, but then it's there for 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'll be long gone before we've finished harvesting asparagus. So I'm like, it's the next homeowner's problem. Right?
We've got allotment newbies asking one little question here. Can I sow carrots in 20 centimetre raised beds? So,
oh God, yeah.
I was going to say, is the raised bed though is it on like rock hard like ground, or is it? I wonder. 20 centimetres would be all right if it was going back into soil, but 20. Let's say that I've never grew a carrot that big in my life yet, man. So bags of room there. Empty Nest Garden is asking. Let's put it up there. Watermelons have just germinated on the heat mat for the Transatlantic Melon Challenge. All right, I don't know. I didn't even know about that. You should take them off the heat mat now and let them stay. Anybody? Melons is not one. I've only had tennis ball kind of success. Anybody had melon tips we can hand out?
Well, I grow melons, and again, I won't be sowing them till the end of this month. But I've never grown a watermelon, never even tried. I just think it's too cold for us here in the UK. But I don't know. I'll bow to anybody's knowledge on that.
Yeah,
well,
it depends how warm your heat mat is, right? I mean, they're a warm weather plant. So I think the warmer you keep them, the happier they are.
I wouldn't have thought you would keep it on your heat mat all the time, because you're not gonna have your heat mat going through July. That would just be like worse than my electric bills.
They've got to get out in the garden at some point, right? Yeah. So I don't know if your weather is conducive to watermelon. They like heat. I can do that in the summers because we get that kind of heat, and I have not planted my watermelons yet, or my melons at all. And the Transatlantic Challenge is from Jane Kelly's channel.
Oh, is that where it's come from? Is it?
Yes. So I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring there for that one too. But I haven't started my melons. So
I just want to show you what I'm going to be sowing this. Peas. I'm going for peas again. I wanted to find some marsh too. This is what I'm going to be sowing this next week. But I've got what I've found as well. I think we were talking about this. Can you see? These are sorrel. Now, I've never grown sorrel before, and I'm hoping one of you has had some experience. I have red veined sorrel,
That's
another
good.
packet of
That's
red
good.
veined sorrel. That's obviously an accident I've ordered. And Rumex, I don't know what that name is, but sorrel, what are we like for sorrel? Is that something that's
It's a very bitter leaf. It's quite sort of piquant. We used to make a chicken and sorrel soup, which is fantastic. So that's one for you. But it's a herb, yeah.
Audrey,
Big one.
how do you grow it?
I just grow it in with my herbs, and
In with your what?
my herbs. Herbs.
Herbs,
Sorry,
lass.
am I
Herbs.
saying that incorrectly? So I have to say it like Martha Stewart. Okay, herbs. All right. Yeah, I just grow them in there.
And how do you any trouble with them or anything?
Salad. I like it in my salads because I like a little bitter with, the regular greens.
Right. Well, that's what I'm going to be hopefully sowing. Is it, Audrey? Is it the right time to sow it, or is it an easy one, or is there a certain time when to sow sorrel?
I've never. I feel with all herbs, you can sow them at any time you want to.
I got my
Really?
I got my sowing mixed up the other day as well, and I sowed basil and coriander, loads of them, and I've ended up sowing loads of basil and no coriander. So, I've obviously put the bloody basil, sprinkled it all. Honestly, loads, probably about 80 or 90 to 100 plant pots of bloody basil, and I've got about 4 little bits of coriander there. I must have obviously
Pesto City.
got it mixed
Because
up.
those are pretty different kind of seeds.
Oh,
So that was
Audrey, I'm a professional failure. Do you know what I mean? I fail at garden for a living. Do you know what I mean? And I
no, you
make damn good
don't.
money
You
at it.
don't. You don't.
Right. Let's have a look. See if there's any questions there. Worried about my vine. Denise in the garden is saying, let me just jump to my thing there. Worried about my vine. It's in a 30-litre black bucket in the polytunnel, but it doesn't look too good. How can I tell if it's still alive? I'm guessing the grapevine, Denise there. Steve, you're a man of...
The thing I would do is get a penknife or a pair of scissors and somewhere on the stem, just scrape back a bit of the bark, just gently, to see if you can see green underneath. If there's green underneath, it's still living. It may just want repotting, or better still, put into a border. It might not like being in a 30-litre pot, because generally vines drink a lot of water.
Right. Steve, there's another question while I've got you on there. John Goldthorpe's asking, Steve, can you get a second harvest from Ishikua bunch and onions? No, I'm guessing he's just cutting them at the soil level, is he? And then, I presume, and then taking it from there?
I don't see why you wouldn't. You can do it with other onions, but I don't see why you would want to do it anyway, because, you get so many seeds for £1 from Premier Seeds anyway. You just sow another batch or sow more of them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I would have thought that as well, to be honest. Just it's easy just to kind of 2 weeks later.
Yeah, just sow more.
Mind you, at this moment, trays are like gold dust. I'm running out of trays. Like, I've just put something in the garden, and it's like, I've got one more. I've got a spare tray now. I can run down home and bloody get it. Pat Joyce is saying there, she sowed some pelted carrots, but have had so many weeds come up. Will I risk pulling up the seedlings if I try and weed the bed? I guess you've got to, haven't you? You've got to. Plus, it's going to, I would have thought, helped with the thinning, but I would be getting the weeds out.
Yeah, you've got to get the weeds out. But there's a way of doing it. If you want to protect a seedling, let's say you've got a carrot seedling, if you can sort of put your thumb on the stem of the plant that you want to protect into the soil, and then pull the weed from next to it. That can sometimes work, and that's how I thin carrot seedlings. I will show it on a video coming up in over the weeks, but that's the best way I know to weed close to seedlings. Protect the seedling with your thumb. Just put your thumb over it, bend the seedling over slightly, and then pull the weed out, and that protects the seedling.
What a top tip. My granddad told you that one, didn't he, lad?
I did. He told me everything I know, pretty much.
Actually, Jamie, Liz Zorab's saying like lots of people have been asking about flea beetles, so I wonder if it is a kind of. Have you had flea beetles for a while? Is it, or is it just like they come and go like every 5 years or something, or is it something once you've got it, you've got it?
I'm not sure on their life cycle, but I think it's one where once they're there, they're going to kind of overwinter and stick with you, because I have them, they're recurring. They're always there.
Oh, wow, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Ah, nightmare. Who's asking? Let's have a look. David Watson's asking, actually for Steve, but do you rotate your crops? He's watched Charles Dowden and he doesn't. And funny enough, since I watched Charlie Dowden do that, I don't bother now rotate. Or I don't fret about it, should I say. Jamie, what about you? I'm saying Jamie. Do you know what I mean? It's just natural. JB, sorry. Is it a thing that you're kind of... Oh, sorry, Patricia. Where am I going around with the nails, man? Look at Audrey's annoyed with us there. She's just, that's just so bloody cruel. Right, sorry, JB. What am I freaking talking about here, man? I can't even remember one. I don't know if I'm back to balling. What are we talking about? Rotation, Jamie.
I'm not personally too bothered. I only started gardening 2 years ago, and by that point, the kind of general consensus had started to shift a bit. I remember Charles Dowding was talking about it, but Hugh Richards as well did some videos on why he doesn't, like you say, fret about crop rotation. And I've just kind of, it's easier to not worry about it. And if there's people who know what they're talking about saying you don't need to worry about it, then I'm content to follow that advice.
Do you know what? Honestly, Jamie, that's the, if someone like Charlie Dowden's saying it, you know what I mean? Then as soon as I watched that video or like a couple of his, I was thinking, do you know what I mean? Lighten up on this crop, because it was like almost like blinking fish and paranoid about rotation. And he's proven with his little tests that, do you know what I mean? So, Steve, what did your grandfather say about this?
Well, of course, I grew up in that era where we always rotated the crops, and the crops that we grew always left something behind for the next crop. So it's kind of in me to do it naturally, and I don't even really think about it. And the video I've made today about sowing roots, I mention it in that this particular bed had carrots the year before. Last year I moved it over, and this year I've moved it over. But it's not really a guaranteed choice that I'm making. It's more of an informed choice. I tend to move things around anyway to make the garden look different. I'm not strictly following it anymore, just a little bit. It's still in my mind to do.
You daresn't go against what the old fella said to you. Taught you, lads.
You can do what you like.
What we're going to see. Adam Elliott is saying, when can I sow swede turnips? Adam, turnips, lad. When's the best time to sow swedes? And can he transplant them? Anybody want to take that question there? I haven't actually sown any yet, to be honest.
Well, I've sown all my roots today, apart from swede, and I sow them in a couple of months' time, sort of June into July. I consider them more of a winter crop. I consider turnips a summer crop. Turnips are the much smaller ones, obviously.
It's funny, Steve. I think you're all exactly right. But I couldn't fancy eating turnip. I don't know what it is in July. It's got that, it's almost like you don't really eat turnip in July, man. You know what I mean? You kind of
chefy tip then. Grate it and put it in your coleslaw.
What did you say? Grate it and put it in cold. Right.
Yeah, grate it and put it in your coleslaw instead of cabbage. There you go. Chefy tip.
A chefy tip. Well, I should have a little kind of ting bell and a little thing kind of chefy tip. What I have got though for Steve, just especially for Steve, do go over and subscribe to his channel. Look at that there.
Oh, hey! Brilliant.
Cost us 15 quid that.
Beer assistant.
There we go. What's that? Oh, what is that?
Beer assistant just came in.
Oh, beer assistant, right. I thought it was tea you were drinking, lad. Right. Oh, cheers there, lad. Cheers. I'm just seeing anybody else. I tell you what we've got. Oh, I had a question for you. Jim, have you got a polytunnel or not, or anything like that?
Was that for me?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I've got a greenhouse. It's just a little greenhouse. I think it's a really weird size. It's like 7 foot by 8 foot. And it's got like weird sized glass as well.
Right. No, I tell you why I was mentioning that, and I'm sure it was one of Steve's videos or one of Steve's questions. Was Stephen, you're like a kind of a no dig guy, but you even told me once a couple of weeks ago to dig over your polytunnel. And there was, I think, someone asking last week about it as well. And why would you want to dig over a polytunnel, Steve? If we're into no dig, what benefit can just digging over? What benefit can you get without putting more?
That was direct.
Which is a better way.
That was directed at you for being the young pretender and trying to grow carrots to try and better me. I was just trying to give you a hint that if you dig the ground over first, before you sow your carrots, the carrot roots might get down there and you might grow bigger carrots and you might have a chance of beating me.
I think we should see the state of my area at the moment. It's like a jungle. No. But I thought, my understanding is like a veg, like a parsnip or a carrot would just go down no problem. It didn't have to be kind of loose. Now I know, you've got is it Dan from Allotment Diaries puts them in like a nice fine compost and grows them in tubes. But again, my understanding from watching like Charlie Dowden just gets them into the ground and they find their own way perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got compost, which is quite a loose commodity on its own, and a carrot will swell and push that compost apart. But if you're going into hard soil, it's a little bit more difficult for it. It will do it, and it will swell. But if you dig the ground before you plant, then that carrot will swell easier and therefore give you a bigger carrot. It's just one of those sort of ad hoc tips, Mm-hmm.
Audrey, what about you? What's your tips on carrots? Like dig, no dig?
I'm pretty much no dig. And I grow them all in raised beds. So they have no problem. Last year, I got some enormous carrots. Very pleased with my carrot harvest last year. So I'm going to plant way more this year.
Audrey, do you over there suffer from like carrot root fly, and do you have to mesh your carrots?
I don't, because all of my beds are over 30 inches, and I understand those little flies can't fly very high. So I've never had a problem with it, but I've never grown them in an in-ground bed.
Mm-hmm. Disneyland.
That's right. That's right. Mickey and Minnie and I go out and plant carrots. Yes. Great fun.
JB, what about you then? You said you weren't going to grow carrots. Surely you can have another batch.
You need to grow carrots again, JB.
Yeah,
definitely.
So I think the first year I got really lucky. I had really good beginner's luck with loads of stuff, but carrots in particular. My plot when I took over was head high bramble. I've got a video on what it looked like at the start, and it was crazy. But I think the carrots did really well because the ground had been dug over. It was all loose and nice. And then second year, I tried to disturb the soil a lot less. The reason I had to dig them I wanted to go no dig, but couldn't really because I couldn't source the compost. But I had to dig them to get
Yeah.
bramble roots out. I think the carrots really took to that in the first year, and then second year without digging, and I've got really hard clay, so they weren't too happy. I think that was it.
I think that's the other thing with no dig, is that over a period of time, the worms and all the soil activity mix the compost up with the soil underneath, and so loosen that soil. So that's why eventually, first couple of years with no dig, you might not get brilliant carrots, but I think gradually that soil will get better, and your carrots will as well.
Jamie,
All right, you've convinced me.
yeah,
I'll give them another go.
We'll get some carrots.
Yeah, you've got to have another go.
Cannot. I mean, the carrots. I think probably there's tomatoes, the king of the veg fruit. Then there's carrots second place. You can't not grow carrots. You should take your channel off YouTube if you're not growing carrots. You know what I mean?
You cancel.
Right. I just don't do carrots. Right? If that was me, I wouldn't be growing anything. You'd just be I would just sit and talk to you about the weather because I'm feeling everything. Oh, I tell you what, I was going to chat about Beech Grove. Watched the first ever episode of mine that I watched last Friday. Steve gave a hint on his channel, and then I watched straight away. I watched the Gardener's World,
Right.
and to be honest, this Beech Grove was like head and shoulders for me above Gardener's World. Just like down to earth. Do you know what I mean? I related to every one of the kind of the topics. You know what I mean? And some of the topics, I'm not going to be digging out a kind of cypress tree or whatever it was, like some sort of Douglas fir tree or anything. You know what I mean? But I've like missed that program for how many years? You know what I mean? Didn't even.
Yeah.
And I still get irritated. You know, not irritated with Gardener's World, but it just seems to like miss so much. You know what I mean? It's like it's just aimed at a certain small factor of people, and I thought Beech Grove was, and I guess what's he called, the old timer, Steve?
George.
I mean, he was on there, and he's
on the program, but the one that's left, and it's a shame you've missed him, is Jim McCall.
Oh, right. So there's somebody else gone
on YouTube and find some of his videos. He is brilliant.
Right.
He's the best TV gardener I've ever seen.
See, I thought it was him, the old timer that's on there. And I'm saying old timer, you know what I mean? But the old fella that was on there this last week, I thought that was your guru. So there's somebody else, is there?
Yeah, he's suffered with mobility problems. I think he's 77 now, around that age, and had bad hip problems. And he retired from the show, I think, two or 3 years ago now. But he was just a brilliant gardener. No one was going to tell him that he was going to use peat free. He was going to use peat, and that was it. He was very straight down the barrel at you, you know. Told you exactly what he thought. And I appreciate that sort of talk.
Did I guess Audrey, you well, it's on the. You might not be able to even get it on the BBC app. I don't think you'll be able to get it. So
we kind of get selected BBC programs, so they decide what they're going to ship over here. Yeah. And I've never heard of that. Yeah.
What about you, JB? Have you seen it?
That's a no then.
Well, honestly, I mean, I've never seen it. You know what I mean? It was Steve that's kind of introduced us to it, and I just like I say, I guess my biggest program I loved. What got me in the garden was Fork to Fork with Monty Don. That was the one there that it was just head and shoulders. You know, it was like the camera work, the food order. It's the BBC Gardener's World presenter.
Well, I remember that Fork to Fork. I think that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
On one of those. Yeah, so I've seen it.
Well,
Yeah.
that was the one that kind of inspired me to kind of pick up a fork and kill every vegetable that I plant. You know what I mean? So, garden as well, like and from that day, I guarantee I've never had a good crop of anything. But I think like garden as well just loses us. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like so, I don't know, not desperate, but in this growing season, you always want to kind of smother yourself in kind of topics of gardening, and and I felt like that Beech Grove is gonna do that for us. Will you still watch it every week, Steve?
Yeah, I'll watch it. And what I tend to do is, even through, while we're busy with our gardens, I record every program and keep them. And I tend to watch them over Christmas as well. So if I watch them through the season, I'll watch them again at Christmas.
Right. Bloody hell, you are keen, lad. You are keen.
Oh, aye.
I know. And JB, you're obviously going to have to start watching Beech Grove now, eh?
He's a
I will, I
program
promise.
behind.
So JB, have you got a favourite programme, like gardening programme? Is there something there that got you inspired? Is there a certain is there a certain person might have got you inspired to take up the shovel and the fork?
Patricia in the
Maybe.
tunnel.
No, I must admit,
No.
like I've never. No, wait, I'll get to that. No, but TV-wise, proper TV. No, I was never really into it. As a kid, like my parents were always in the garden, and I just thought it was boring. But it wasn't until I got a little bit older. I started to appreciate it.
Does Waitrose have vegetables to plant in the gardens? That as soon as I see that carrier bag, I thought that is gold dust. That there is not getting wasted. I just put my sprout and broccoli in this Waitrose carrier bag. It honestly, Jimmy, it loved it because you started off. It's so like I said, me and you are a million miles different in gardening. You're there, and everything is just perfect. And what I'm going to do is just cut these lovely sprout and broccoli and put them in this Waitrose carrier bag, and perfect.
It was a total accident.
Gold
That's all I had.
I bet the next video he's scrutinising. I bet you scrutinise everything. Right, what can that get us on now?
He'll be sponsored by Waitrose next. You watch.
Yeah.
Right, what else we got there? I tell you what I did. This is kind of my last kind of note on the Gardener's World there. Please, more questions if you can, because that's me. Me phone, me. That's me research for the week there. That's it, gone. I did enjoy on the Gardener's World. There was a squaddy, an army chap got hurt in I guess Afghanistan or somewhere like that, and he had his son out like doing gardening, and it was like he says it was like the place where he went to kind of recover and like recuperate and trying to get the grips with what's happened to him. And I thought I love that bit.
Brilliant.
To be honest. So did anybody watch Gardener's? Nobody watched Gardener's World?
I haven't seen it yet.
Right. JB? No.
No.
Well,
Too busy gaming. That's what it is. He's too busy bloody gaming. The kids, man, they're in the bedroom gaming.
you weren't saying very nice things about it last week, Tony, so I'm not sure anybody's watching it.
Well, like I say, I'm going to give it because it kind of ran on, and I thought it's a great now that Beech Grove's on. You can kind of just watch both of them. And I'll be honest, Audrey, I did skip. Do you know what I mean? I kind of watched it on my phone, and you can kind of fast, and I fasted it. And that's the great, for me, a great kind of measure if something's good or crap. If I'm fasting through bits, then it's like
Rubbish.
Not good. Audrey, what program's over there have you got then that's kind of hits the...
Well, there's this one show that I discovered years ago. Lovely man who lives in the northeast of England. and I believe the show is called Tony C. Smith.
Yes, see,
Oh.
there you go.
Very inspirational.
There you go.
Very
JB,
lovely.
that's how you do it. That's how you do it, lad, right? Just take note from a professional. That's how you...
And then he talked about another lovely gentleman named Steve over at Greenside Up. And then this young lad who is so calm in the garden, the happy gardener, JB, naturally. So that's all I need. I'm done. And then I throw in a little Charles Dowding just in case I need it. But yeah.
So there must be over there. Is there kind of some garden programs that are like the UK, like garden as well, the staple of American culture?
No.
No.
Not that I am aware of.
Right?
There's like HGTV, which is home and garden television. Really, it's more about curb appeal, and it's not really a gardening show.
To be honest,
I'm not
you
aware. I
Americans
learned
aren't
more-
really kind of into your gardening. Really good.
Not like you guys are.
Uh-huh.
No, not at all like the UK is. Not at all. I think after this pandemic, it's kind of had an uprising to do more gardening and vegetable gardening. But yeah, that's still kind of a new thing over here. We have a lot of farmers. There's great, like on YouTube, you can learn so much off of U.S. farmers because they're just anyway. There's a lot out there, but I think YouTube is a much more informational place than the television is for us.
And it's more interactive as well because you can physically ask a question and, like we're doing here tonight, and just get the benefit of other people's experience, all their thoughts even. So it is good.
We have, let's get back to some questions. Steve B is asking, can I grow pak choi in 30-litre tubs? If so, how many per tub? I've just never grown pak choi in tubs, but I wouldn't have thought you'd get that many in. I don't know. I just kind of in rows, in blocks.
Depends how big the pak choi is. That's a big category of plant, pak choi. So I would pack them in as tight as I could and let nature edit them. I think anything can grow in a bucket.
30 litres is a nice sized bucket, like
That's
you said.
a pretty big bucket, yeah.
Steve, what would you recommend?
Exactly the same as Audrey. Just pack them in, and what dies off, what survives, thrives. One plant, when it's fully grown, will fill a 30-litre tub. But, you could have 8 smaller ones in there, take them all out and make a lovely stir fry from them. So
I was gonna say pick them early, to be honest.
Yeah.
JB, are you a pak choi grower? Have you sampled the delights or?
I tried it once and they all bolted.
I've got this kind of. If it doesn't work, that's it. It's not getting back in the plot. I'll tell you that now. I grow onions. I grow onions and sprouting broccoli. That's it. That's me work.
I've got this vision. He's got his greenhouse where he grows his chilies, and he's just sat in there with the door closed in case the flea beetles get in.
Have you tried pak choi, JB?
Oh, I love to eat it. Yeah, I love to eat it. It's nice.
You never, because it was again. I think it was it Steve or was it Audrey? I think you sent us over some seeds.
I did.
Yeah. So someone's trying to get us on the phone. I can feel me watch vibrating. So yes, Steve B grow pak choi in tubs. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. Have we got anything? Question, Amanda. Audrey, this one's for you there. Is Audrey related to the lovely Jess Snowden Roots and Refuge? Can we buy Roots and Refuge merch from Audrey?
No.
No. Who?
No, Jessie, I think it's Jessie from Roots. There's a whole different, they have their own Roots and Refuge is their handle on YouTube. and they sell a lot of merchandise. But no, I'm not related.
There you go, Amanda. What? How long we been going there? Oh, hey, bloody an hour nearly already, man. Right.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Let's see if there's any more questions. Is anybody, JB? What are you sowing? Have I asked you this? What you're sowing yet? This
For the moment, it's mainly peas. Peas are the go-to at the moment. So I first time doing peas. Right? Can you believe?
You won't be growing them
I was going to say, you only get the one chance.
They're going up so far. No, so I never did. 2 years growing so far. I never grew peas. Who cares? You know, you can buy peas in the supermarket. What's the point? And then I tried some at a friend's house that he'd grown in his back garden, and I was like, oh my goodness, they're a game changer. They taste completely different. So I'm really excited to try peas this time, but I did not sow enough. So I've got my earlies going. You know, they're a good 15 centimeters by now. But I did not sow enough. So I'm back on the succession. I planted some out in the ground.
Did you plant them straight in the ground? Have you done them in little pots or?
They're in root trainers. So I'm trying root trainers for the first time. And I've got a video about peas next week. That's a Sunday video.
Right. And once you get the crop, you know how you'll be able to harvest them, don't you? And what you're going to put them in. The weird little carrier bags, man, for God's sake. Anita6687 is asking, bought a new peach tree. Oh, this is out of my league, Anita. This year, placed it in the greenhouse, no flowers for fruit. Any advice?
Well, I've never grown a peach tree, but I know that some fruits, some years, for some reason, they miss flowering. I know this happens with plums and some apple trees, that you just miss a crop one year for no apparent reason. But apart from that, I don't know. Planting a peach and a nectarine is something I want to do in my new tunnel at the back of the plot there. So, no, I don't know, to be honest.
It's nothing. It's out of my kind of league as well. Grown local, Ian's actually asking, can you, and definitely Ian, multi-sow spring onions? That's the only way I kind of sow them. Just like, and again, the seeds are tiny, so get it in like a pack, you know, like a kind of foot by half a foot, you know, with 24. Just get about 8 seeds in and just grow them each one, and then plant them out, and then 2 weeks later rinse and repeat. You know,
yeah,
so,
definitely.
I've got a little bit on the way
and
there.
And they're great to interplant with just about anything.
Yeah,
so if you have just a little room while something else is growing up, throw in a pack of spring onions, and you'll pull out a whole nice bunch. It's great.
Phil Hurst asking, is it too early? And we've been talking about this, JB, kind of a little bit before. Is it too early to plant out Brassica seedlings? Now, I've got mine in me cold frame, a number of them, but maybe in the next week or two, I'll be kind of putting mine out. But mine are, I guess, that big, some of them, you know, so are you?
Yeah, mine are still tiny. So I wouldn't dare, because they'll just get eaten by slugs straight away.
Yeah, mine are that size as well. But mine are in the polytunnel, actually in the seed bed, in the ground. That's how I grow my brassicas this time of year. I don't bother with the modules and put them in a propagator. It just takes up too much space.
Well, it's funny, you know, that's a tip and a half as well, Steve, because I've replanted them into them patch potato seed trays there now. But it's just like you use so many of your kind of your utensils, your hardware, your trays, doing and they seem to like touch wood for me. One thing that can germinate, you know what I mean, is a brassica. So.
Well, the good thing about growing them in the ground is when you come to thin them out, you can take them out. And as I said earlier, if you use the thumb method to protect the seedling you leave them behind, you'll pull them out whole. You can plant them on, grow them on, give them away, or plant them out. You've just suddenly got thousands of plants that you're surrounded by. And the ones in the ground carry on growing, and you can let them grow really big in a protected environment away from the slugs. And then eventually you dig them up and plant them straight out. Brilliant.
Do they not? Do they not like take a hit though when they're pretty well established in soil, and you're disturbing them and then planting them back out? Do they not take that hit?
No, by that time, by the time I plant mine out, the ground's warm enough and it's warm enough outside that I feel I don't need to harden them off, and brassicas are quite rock solid anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I was doing it with cucumbers, then no, I wouldn't do that because they can be quite tender, but brassicas are, tough as old boots.
Oh, JB, here we go. Linda's asking, a fan. What's your favourite veg and flower, JB?
Okay, flowers. Flowers, I did a little segment on recently, and I think calendula, the pot marigold, has got to be my number one at the moment. Possibly, I'm a little bit biased because I tried to grow lots of flowers, and calendula were one of the only ones that grew.
Sure. That one's staying.
But no, I just love them. The best thing about calendula is the longevity. Once you get them away, they're with you all season. They're just wonderful, and just you can have a really nice big clump. I'm planning to have lots of those this year in the borders. Veg. I mean, do chilies count as veg?
They're
technically fruit, but I'm gonna chili peppers.
Oh yes,
yeah. Definitely chilies. It's got to be chilies. That's why, I put more time and effort into growing chilies every year than probably the rest of the plot combined.
What is it about chilies then? What makes them like?
So I think as a crop, they're so diverse and also versatile.
Excuse me.
So there's so many different varieties you can grow. It blew my mind when I started looking into how many different ones there are. And like the types of burn, the types of flavors that they have, the things you can make with them are all so different. So we're just really fascinating. I'm gonna get on one if I start going on chilies. I'll go. They're just brilliant. And yeah, the versatility. You can make like rubs, you can make chili salt, you can make chili sauces. They freeze so well, so they preserve really well, and you just keep using them. Well, yeah, I love making hot sauces. That's my main go-to, and making them with fermented chili peppers as well, so they last forever.
Oh, right.
Well,
it's funny. I made a hot sauce with I forget the actual chili, Scotch bonnet ones, but it was using like mango and like mango juice or something, and it was off of YouTube. It was like big hairy biker looking guy from America, like a kind of outside barbecue thing, boiling up this mixture. But man, it was like what a because obviously when you cook a chili down, it loses that kind of that raw heat. You still get heat. I mean, I'm talking like a milder one, you know what I mean? But you actually lose a bit of the heat. So I was putting in all these Scotch bonnets thinking it was going to be like burning your head off, and it had that kind of punch, but not like hideous where it's like it spoils, everything you eat for a week,
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I do know that feeling.
What have you, Jimmy? What have you sown in chilies then this year?
So I haven't actually done a video on my chilies yet. I keep meaning to, and other stuff gets in the way. I'm much more on top of the plot this year though. But my chili seedlings are going. I've only got 2 trays, so I've toned it down a bit. Last year I had like 50 plants, and in that tiny greenhouse it was way too much. So I'm going to 25 this year. And yeah, I've got a whole range. I've tried to kind of gear the types I'm growing more towards sauces. So last year I just grew a load that looked interesting, and then at the end of the year I was like, these are all completely different colors, like they don't fit into any like coherent sauce. So this year I've given a lot more thought to colors and flavors and what I'm going to make in terms of sauces.
Can you recommend a couple of good ones then for it? Because I'm kind of, I said I wasn't going to grow chilies, but I've been communicating with someone, Nick, who's going to actually send some chilies over. So I'm kind of, you know what I mean? But I'm a kind of Hungarian hot wax guy, and then maybe like something like a bit hotter. What can you recommend for anyone growing chilies in the kind of, if they're just starting out?
Well, yeah, I mean, jalapenos are perfect. Hungarian hot wax as well are incredible. There's so many different types of jalapeno that you can get. So it's worth having a look. There's some really interesting ones. But there's a few as well that they're starting to grow where they kind of take the heat out but keep the flavor. So one I'm growing this year is called a New Mex Suave Red, and it's meant to taste like a habanero, which is normally like 300,000 Scoville, so pretty hot. But they've tried to breed the heat out of it, and now it's like 1,000 Scoville, but it's meant to still have that really unique taste.
Well, I'd be interested in that.
Yeah, there's
JB,
there's
have you ever soaked your habaneros in vodka?
No, I can't say I have. I've never tried a brew.
Just a minute. No,
any
the reason,
excuse. Cup of tea.
the reason I'm asking you is my son-in-law and daughter love the flavor of habanero, but don't always want to put all that heat in. So I grew some like habanadas last year and some things where the heat was bred out, but the taste isn't quite the same. So I'm soaking some actual habanero in vodka, and apparently what happens is the heat transfers to the vodka, and you can then dry the pepper without the heat, but you can retain all the actual habanero flavor. So I was wondering if you'd ever done that, because I'm anxious to get that. And then you have vodka for Bloody Marys, I guess, all year. I don't know. But two for one. Yeah.
That seems counterintuitive, that. Seems counterintuitive. You take all the heat out and put it in the vodka, and then you drink the vodka.
With all the good stuff that goes into a Bloody Mary, yes. But if you just want anyway, I just wondered if you'd done that, since you do like the hot chilies.
Yeah, no, I mean, I quite like to chase the heat. I do quite like the spice of them. So, yeah, I haven't been trying to take the heat out.
Maybe I should say that differently. My daughter and son-in-law love the heat of a habanero. Their mom does not. I like the flavor of the habanero, but not that much heat. So, yeah, I misspoke. Because if they see this, they're going to go, seriously, we like the heat. Don't be saying that.
Audrey, what chilies do you grow on like a regular basis?
Well, I grow a Bueno Mulata, which is a hot one. My son-in-law loves that one, so I will always grow that for him. There's a peach one that is, the name of it is escaping me, but it's a hot, but it has. Pardon me.
The Sugar Rush peach.
Yes, Sugar Rush peach. Thank you.
Oh, he's good. Hey, he's coming into his own now.
Yeah, no,
now he's good. Now he'll grow chilies all day long. Give him a carrot, he'll tell him off, but a chili. Oh!
Don't you think that one will make a lovely, like, peach-based hot sauce? That's why I'm growing that one this year, because I thought that would be lovely with some peach in there. And then I'm growing my favorite chili of all time. It's a Korean hot chili. And it's just called Amazing 2, and it's what kimchi and other things are made with. So it's spicy, but not over the roof hot. Very good all-purpose chili pepper to me. So that's a few of the hot ones I'm growing.
Steve, I've never, unless I've missed it, I've never seen you mention chilies. Is the heat something that don't find appealing?
Yeah, it's a funny thing for me, being an ex-chef. We don't use anything in food that's going to overpower the other flavors that's in there, and a chili will do that. Not for everyone. For someone like JB, you could probably make it super hot, and he would still taste everything else in there. But it's one of those things I sort of shy away from. I'm growing chilies this year, but it's right at the bottom of the Scoville scale, and it's the what is it? Anaheim. I think it's 1,000 on the Scoville scale. I don't mind a bit of heat. I love the chili flavour. I adore it, but I can't get enough of it without too much of the heat, which is why I was interested in that variety JB said a few minutes ago, where they bred the heat out of it. I'd be really interested from a culinary point of view to try that and see what I could do with that. That sounds spectacular to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll keep you updated. they're
Yeah,
tiny.
they
They're one of
do.
the slowest growing seedlings I've got. Those ones. So hopefully
Oh,
they come
God.
good. But, yeah.
Audrey, we've got a question. We've got a question for you there from Stephen Holmes is asking. Ask Audrey on tips for growing blueberries, please.
Ooh.
They love acid soil. So I do put an acid. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I do make sure my pH is very acidic. Keep them well watered. When they look like they're starting to put on their little blueberries, I tent them so the birds don't get them because they just love them, and so do the squirrels. Uh, so those are, those are my tips. Just any fruit, you just keep it well watered, and again, they like acid, so keep the soil acidic.
Blueberries, Stephen, is that something you've grown?
Never ever grown them. I was just thinking, this sounds lovely. I must try them. Never ever grown them. I've grown
They're very,
everything from
they're easy to take care of.
goji
Yeah.
berries to strawberries, but for some reason blueberries have escaped me.
Well,
I'm getting my strawberries delivered today. Speaking of
Oh.
strawberries,
right.
ones that I killed last year. When you said I gardened in Disney World. No, I killed every strawberry plant. So I have 50 of them showing up today. I'm very excited.
It's funny when we're talking about blueberries there. We used to live, my parents kind of, I must have been about 10 to 12-year-old. We lived, have you heard, Steve, on your neck of the wood, a village called Kirkland, which is
I know the name.
near Ennerdale, and there was
Yeah.
like a fell there, and behind the fell there was like a kind of one of these, like a reservoir lake, like a natural lake. But the whole like fell sides was just wild blueberries, and I always remember going there every kind of time and picking with my mum like just wild blueberries, and
Yeah, that'll be Ennerdale Water.
yes.
It's a big lake, that one is.
Well, just
Mind
near
you,
there, there's a little village called Kirkland, and we used to have the pub there, to be honest. So it was, yes, happy times until I burned the pub down, actually.
Well, that's a bit random.
That sounds like a good story.
Well, the story is that it was just when, and Steve will relate to this, when chicken in the basket and like meals in a basket in pubs kicked off. And it was that kind of time. I can't remember when it was, but it was that kind of time. And I was upstairs and we had this like pub in the lakes. I was upstairs. My mum and dad were working in the bar downstairs. My mum was doing these kind of short order cooked meals, chicken in basket and all that. And I went into this room. We were decorating upstairs, and I went into a spare room and it had loads of tins of paint. And some of the tins of paint had the lids still off. And I flicked the light switch, and the bulb blew. And it did spark, but I was only like a tot at the time, or 10 or 15. No, not 15, probably 10, something like that. I shut the door and ran back to the telly and never thought of it. And then I could hear these tins of paint exploding. And I also remember running into the bar to tell me mum there was, and I also remember my dad looking at us and saying, because it was like, say, 10:30 at night, chock-a-block, weekend kind of thing. What's he doing? What's he doing up? What's he doing in the bar? And I also had to put the pajamas on. And then the next thing I can remember is 5 fire engines or whatever, and the whole pub it was just destroyed. Do you know what I mean? It's now flats, like lovely little cottage thing. So we had to come back to the northeast of England. So,
There
yes.
goes.
Wow.
And I think that was the start of like when I used to play with fires.
Well, there's a confession, isn't it? And you're whinging about a Waitrose bag.
Not again. No.
Oh,
Cool,
some of the tales I could tell you. Even my wife just gets annoyed with us when we go camping with the kids. Couldn't be even saying this on air. When we used to go with the kids, we used to there's like a few families, and like put tins of baked beans on the fire, and the last one to jump over the fire before the tins of baked beans blew up. You know what I mean? And you got kids still doing that. Kind of jump now. Do you know what I mean? too old for jumping our fires. That would be bloody. I'd have to step gingerly. What we on time? I think we've look at that, man. 1 hour 15 minutes. I think we've called it a day there now. I think we've done very well. Did you notice, JB, that mine and yours and Steve jumped on as well? Little test got more views than the normal big production live show.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
I think when everyone's seen your little bonny face, I think people were like, "Oh, little hottie." You know, they looked at me and Steve and they were thinking, "Oh dear me." But when they see the young hottie. So Audrey, where can we find your channel, girl?
Real food.
Let me pull it up. Have I still got it there? And you can link to the web. Look at that website, man. It's still going. Look at all it.
Oh, there's my Sugar Rush peach. Yeah, we just passed those.
Where's the Sugar Rush peach?
Right
yes.
there. Yep. Right where you're. Yep.
JB, I think Audrey's growing more chilies than what you are there.
I'll have to have a look. I'll have a look at the website.
That is just fantastic, Audrey.
But that Airtable is absolutely brilliant. I've seen that before on Steve's Seaside Allotment, a site that's well worth going and having a look. And he's got all his varieties on the Airtable as well, and all his planting times and everything. It's a brilliant program. It really is.
Yep.
I don't think you pay for it until you've used over a certain amount of data, do you?
Yeah, there's a free version and then a paid version. Yep.
If it goes off the amount of pictures, I think Audrey must be paying top whack. So yes, please pop over to Audrey's channel there. She's on 483 subscribers. Audrey, we want you up to 1,000 as soon as possible, if you don't mind.
Awesome. No, I wouldn't mind at all. Thank you.
Yes. And
great fun.
Oh, there we go. I think we should make that into a poster. We should make look at that little cheeky little smile there with his little Waitrose carrier bag there. I think Mummy would be very proud of you having the family carrier bags there. I think that's.
I used to work there.
He did not.
I think that's why I've still got some hanging around.
So yes, come on, let's go over to Naturally JB and subscribe to Jamie's channel there. The nicest, calmest garden that you will find on YouTube there by a long shot.
Yes.
JB, you'll have to send me your address, JB, and I'll post you some Aldi carrier bags.
we cannot have you, please, Jamie. We cannot have you walking around with that. And the Godfather, the Grandmaster of Greenside up there. Please pop over to look at that. He's so close to my kind of 16,200. He's at me backside there already. There, tanning me arse to get past. So please pop over and. That didn't come out right, Stephen, to be honest. That was a little bit. No, that was quite a little bit quite crude, if I'm honest. But please pop over to Steve and subscribe to Steve. There's so much information there, man. You know what I mean?
Yes, there is. Yep.
Oh, look at that Bonnie lad as well there.
You're looking at the wrong page here, then.
So, yes, we've had a fab time. If, please... Pop over.
Oh, and hit the like button. Hit the like button for Tony.
Yes, that would be nice.
Enjoy this.
Audrey,
yes.
I've got it somewhere. 1 second. Where do I? I'm getting a bit. There, please do that. Thank you very much. And if you like it in white as well.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
There we go. Right, everyone. Big thank you for coming on. It has been a blast. We will see you next Monday at 7. If I'm not working. I might be working, I don't know. But anyway, we'll see you then, hopefully, next Monday, 7 p.m. Look after yourselves, everyone. Take good care. Thank you for turning up.
Cheers,
Steve,
everyone.
James,
Thank
Audrey,
you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Ta-ra.